right now at 6, how investigators plan to take another look at key evidence 16 years to the day after Kyron Horman vanished.
The time has gone by so quick, and yet it feels like it happened like a week ago.
Then, in a follow-up to a KGW investigation, VA leadership speaks for the first time on the process to reclassify a rare disease and the veterans fighting for benefits. Plus,
they're not going to stop us, we're going to continue back. We're coming strongly.
A promise from a family that runs a Southeast Portland taqueria after their hard work went up in flames.
And later, how a bus driver's connection to his community helped bring a missing grandfather home.
He's like a father figure to me.
But first, to our top story. Today marks 16 years since Kyron Horman disappeared from a school in Northwest Portland. He has been missing ever since. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Petawanet.
And I'm David Molko. Now, investigators hope new tech and a fresh look at the evidence could finally lead to some answers. Devin Haskins is here with the update. And Devin, 16 years.
Yeah, I talked with Kyron Horman, Kyron's dad, who says after all these years, it still feels like it was just the other day. Now the case has been digitized with more than 5,300 pages scanned in for review. Those documents now being reviewed by a specialized FBI unit who will re-examine the entire investigation. Kyron was 7 years old when he was last seen on the morning of June 4th, 2010 at Skyline Elementary School. The young child's disappearance sparked a search that is still ongoing and a years-long investigation that is still ongoing. Last year, the Sheriff's Office finished digitizing the entire case and say they are now using new tools to analyze thousands of documents associated with the disappearance. The Sheriff's Office also says they've added more staff to the case. I talked with Kyron Horman today, Kyron's dad. And he talked about it being 16 years later.
We all have this image of this 7-year-old with glasses and this cute little face, and he's going to be 24 coming up in September. So not so little. Maybe may or may not have glasses on. He's going to look a lot different, like those age progressed photos that they've released. So yeah, it's really trying to make that mental shift to how old he would be now versus how old he was back then. So
the Sheriff's Office says they continue to get tips every year on the case and are continually searching for the missing child. There is a $50,000 reward for any information that leads to finding Kyron.
Yeah, let's hope that the attention on the case finally can lead to a breakthrough. Thanks, Devin.
Okay, to a live look now over downtown Portland this evening, looking at Portland's living room. Much of the day was cloudy, but the sun, like you can see on the bricks there, finally appearing. It's all nice and sunny now, 69 degrees in the Rose City at this point.
Which means, Celine Stevens, it is not too early to look ahead to the weekend, including Saturday's combined Grand Floral and Starlight Parade. How's it looking?
Definitely not. We're already looking the weekend into Friday, but I do have to tell you, you might see some sprinkles on that parade. But right now, we're not dealing with that. Like you said, great shot right now looking at our Wells Fargo Tower sky camera. 69 degrees at the moment outside. Winds coming out of the west at 7 miles per hour. It's been a mild week overall, and that continues into tonight. But you'll see temperatures across our map right now. 70 degrees in Troutdale, 69 in Vancouver, 70 in McMinnville. Again, just mild and warm temperatures along the coast, seeing temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. But things are on the way to change right now. For tomorrow, as we get into our Friday, we're starting dry. The clouds roll in. We're dealing with spotty shower activities by the evening. By Saturday, showers return full force. We're looking at widespread rain throughout our area along the coast and the Cascades, which again means that parade could see some rainfall. And then Sunday, we do start to dry up. So that is the good news. There's a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel. You'll see as we get into our Friday, Portland stays mostly dry, but then Saturday, that's when we start to get hit before things start to improve Sunday and temperatures return to the 70s. I'll have more in a bit.
Okay, thank you, Celine.
Now to a follow-up to a KGW investigation into military veterans with a rare disease, some of who are being denied benefits they say they have earned.
And for the first time, we are hearing from the VA secretary. Investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi is in the newsroom with the update. Kyle.
For weeks, we've been asking the VA to respond to our investigation. A VA spokesperson has provided written statements, but hasn't granted an on-camera interview. So when a private PR firm reached out to various TV stations offering virtual interviews with the VA secretary to discuss improvements at the VA, along with suggested questions, we jumped at the chance and had our fellow reporters go off script and ask questions on our behalf about disability benefits. For years, Greg and Lori Rathburn have felt alone in their struggle. Greg fighting a rare, incurable muscle disease. Lori battling on his behalf, trying to get benefits from the VA.
We gave up. There's an emotional part that goes along with all of this, and you can only put so much effort into so many things.
But the Southern Oregon couple discovered there's an entire community facing similar challenges. Our investigative documentary, Diagnosis Denied, found veterans across the country diagnosed with inclusion body myositis, or IBM, who'd been denied disability benefits by the VA. These veterans and their families believe there's a link between military service and IBM. Greg spent years around toxic chemicals as an avionics technician in the Air Force and Air National Guard. Chemicals nobody warned him about.
But, there was no training as far as the realization that these things can hurt you. Just wasn't talked about.
For some conditions and certain disabilities, the VA automatically presumes military service is to blame and grants benefits without a fight. ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is one of them. IBM isn't on that list. Not yet.
There's been a little bit of a misnomer out there that I can just simply wave a pen and say it is presumptive.
VA Secretary Doug Collins explains there's a process. A panel of scientists is now examining the link between IBM and military service, with results expected by late summer of next year, if not sooner.
We just need to make sure that we're continuing to get the evidence, continuing to follow up on what our veterans are telling us, and that will show us the clear path to what we need to do.
Advocates believe the number of veterans diagnosed with IBM may be anywhere from 6 to 19 times higher than the general population.
The evidence is there already, and VA has it.
Ursula McCabe is an attorney representing veterans, including Greg Rathburn.
If VA simply recognizes the disease, finds ways to get it rated and evaluated correctly, and looks seriously at adding as a presumptive just like ALS, we don't have to wait any longer. It's a simple policy fix.
The VA secretary made no promises, but for veterans who felt so alone in their struggle, there is hope.
As we look forward, I think there will be an outcome that can be helpful to our veterans.
For the first time, these veterans feel heard, fighting a disease the VA still refuses to recognize. One more thing, and it matters. Greg Rathburn finally got the benefits he fought for. The VA revisited his case after our reporting and reversed its denial. If you'd like to see our full documentary, Diagnosis Denied, it's available for streaming now on KGW+.
Such critical reporting by you, Kyle, and our colleagues across the country. Appreciate you staying on top of it.
In your headlines, for the first time since he returned to Oregon, we are hearing from the Bend doctor who treated hantavirus patients on a cruise ship. Dr. Stephen Kornfeld says he tested negative for the virus and feels good, but he still has to quarantine for another 3 weeks. He spent several weeks in quarantine in Nebraska after returning to the States, but he says before he could come home, the feds required Oregon to set up round-the-clock monitoring.
We didn't know, or the state didn't know, what that monitoring meant, but they were able to hire a security company, and outside my house there's a car doing 24/7 monitoring.
5 of 18 total Americans were released from that facility in Nebraska this week, including Dr. Kornfeld. None have shown any symptoms, and no cases of hantavirus linked to the ship have been confirmed in the United States.
In Longview, the tank that held hundreds of thousands of gallons of dangerous chemicals was likely not inspected by state or federal officials before it collapsed last week. That's according to one workplace safety expert who says those types of inspections are not required. 11 employees at the DuPont Dynaway Paper and Pulp Mill were killed when that tank ruptured just over a week ago. It turns out tanks below ground and those that hold certain products like oil and gas do get regular state or federal inspections.
So, because this is above ground, because this is white liquor, it really falls in a more regulatorily gray space where they don't have those kind of increased process safety management regulations. They don't have Department of Ecology.
Regulatory gray space. Baker says it's up to the company to clean and maintain tanks. Upon Dynawave said very little about the circumstances of the blast and the tank itself, only that it will let the facts speak for themselves. Results from state and federal investigations could take months.
And in southeast Portland, a family is asking for help rebuilding after a fire destroyed their taqueria.
John Adams has more on what comes next.
A popular taqueria on Southeast 82nd, known for $1 tacos, boarded up on Thursday afternoon after a fire severely damaged the restaurant on Wednesday morning.
Yesterday, we were in shock. We couldn't believe it, and I feel like this morning it was when it hit us.
Owners Mariela Lazaro and Jesus Zacharias tell us the fire happened around 6:30 before they arrived at the restaurant for the day.
So this is
We were able to take a look inside to see what's left.
It's hard for me seeing it like this in these conditions. It just breaks my heart.
The family has run El Porvenir for 4 years, overcoming hurdles like rising food prices to keep the restaurant afloat. Now Zacharias doesn't know how they will make money to support their 4 children.
So it's really hard to know that we're not gonna get the same income as daily, because we live day by day.
Investigators with Portland Fire and Rescue believe the fire started outside the restaurant that morning and was most likely caused by something like a cigarette butt.
Yeah, it was a blink of an eye and everything is gone.
Now, all that's left are 4 years of memories and a vow to return stronger than ever.
Like this morning, I didn't want to go in there anymore. Yeah, because it's memories and sacrifice.
They're not gonna stop us, We're gonna continue back. We're coming strongly.
John Adams, KGW News.